Once you've followed the links to get to e-rostering, just use your username and password provided to be able to log in. It should say welcome to Health Roster and enter your account details here. Just click login. That'll launch a pop-up window. It takes a few minutes to load. The idea of the unit summary is just to summarise what's happening on your roster right now, or when the date is set up here. You can change the date using the date picker option. At the moment I'm just going to leave it for the 24th of the 10th. Just to explain what's happening on the unit summary screen, first and foremost we'll go left to right. We have reminders up at the top here. This reminds you in terms of roster approvals, otherwise known as the publication of the roster to staff. So finalisation refers to when we need to lock down shifts for payroll so people get paid. Across the right hand side we've got roster problems over the next 7 days, so it will highlight the number of unfilled duties you've got over the next week. All it'll do is just summarise the number of empty duties that you've got. You may be fully aware of that, and obviously if we've not even started planning that yet, we'll have a number of duties unfilled, so we can ignore that for the time being. It's pretty useful for once the roster is built, it will identify how many people you've got on your unit and whether you need to send any shifts to bank or not. We've got this middle section here called expiring items over the next 28 days. The only section we really use is the professional registration section here. This just really refers to the number of expiring professional registrations over the next 28 days. You should probably be already aware of that information, but it does serve as a nice reminder as to who has their, for example, their PIN number expiring if they're a nurse. The awaiting approval section is just here. This covers mainly leave requests. Some of the other features we don't tend to use. However, it will identify the number of leave requests that are awaiting a decision. There are ways of dealing with the leave request without going to the roster, which we'll move on to in the next section. However, this is just to highlight that we do have pending leave requests. They're quite hard to spot on the roster, so it's quite nice that it summarises them here for us. In the bottom left-hand corner, we've got staff changes over the next 7 days. First and foremost, a nice section where it'll highlight if you've got a birthday on your unit coming up for one of your staff members over in the next 7 days. The other ones are actually dealt with by the rostering team. So joiners and leavers, there will be a list of names would appear here if you have any new starters or any people that are due to leave over the next 7 days. Again, that's not something that you yourself would manage, but you can make sure that those are actually being processed on your unit by just checking this section here. And then very finally, if your unit does do shift work, so early, lates and nights or some other variation of that, it will show you who's coming in on the next shift group. So for example, if we're looking at in the morning, we want to find out who's coming in on the late that day. It will identify the name of the person that's coming in on the late, and obviously if we're in the next 12 hours for a night shift, it will also have night staff there. It will identify bank and agency staff as well, so it's a nice way of knowing who you're getting in. And of course, if one of those staff members phones in sick, you can see who else is due to be working, and it's just a way of identifying who you've got coming in and when.